Welcome everyone to Feel Good Friday. I'm Libby and this is Yoga in the Hills. And today's class is going to be geared toward reducing hunchback. So we spend the majority of our lives, whether it is over the computer or driving or the phone, in this contracted front body weakening position, overstretching and weak upper back, and what that can lead to is a hunchback among various other issues. So the sequence that we're going to be moving through today is going to help us not only open the chest, but help to open the upper back and spine, as well as strengthen the upper back, because when we have strong back muscles, those can help to pull us back into proper alignment, and therefore, creating a better channel of communication throughout our body, as well as just alleviating some of the aches and pains that many of us have from sitting at a desk all day or hunching over something all day. So actually, I need to adjust my camera here a little bit down. There we go. You can see my mat. And we'll just start in a comfortable seated position. I would encourage you, especially if you have tight hips, tight low back, to just elevate your hips onto a blanket. And so I just have the sits bones, so those bleacher bones, slid to the edge of the blanket so that it is a little bit of an anterior tilt of the pelvis. And what that's going to do is free up the low back and allow the natural curve to be there. When we have tight hips, tight low back scenario, what will happen is the pelvis will be pulled back and there's a posterior tilt, further exacerbating the problems that we're trying to fix with our yoga practice. So we'll just start here in a comfortable seated position. Maybe you would like to come to a cross-leg position. I choose to line up the ankles, one foot in front of the other, just so that there's no circulation being cut off. It just feels better in my body. But you do have to have open hips, more open hips than you must have to sit in a cross-leg position. So find whatever works for you. Maybe kneeling would be the best option for you, but whatever that is, just come into that comfortable seat, sitting up nice and tall, all the way through the spine and up out through the crown of the head by lifting from the base of the skull. Bring a lift into heart center as you relax the shoulders down your back. You can close your eyes here to begin with. Relaxing the muscles of the face. Releasing the jaw. And just tuning into the natural rhythm of the breath, not trying to change it or shape it in any other way than its natural coming and going. Just observing the movement of the breath, the depth of the breath. If you've had a stressful day, you may find that you're breathing more into your chest instead of drawing the breath down to the belly. That's a stress breath. That's a fight or flight type breath. and it overtaxes the muscles of exhalation. So that's why we try to begin to draw the breath a little deeper down. And you may notice that the simple act of paying attention to the breath begins to calm the mind, begins to release some tension out of the body. And from here, we'll bring our hands together at heart center. We'll inhale and reach forward and up, and exhale back down to the heart. Holding here to open our class with 3 ohms, taking an inhale. Orthome resonates within the heart space. All right, so we're actually going to start tonight's class. And by the way, you'll need some sort of blanket and your yoga blocks for the sequence tonight if you have yoga blocks. If not, anything, maybe big soup cans or something that you can elevate or lengthen your arms rather for a couple of our poses. Okay, so to start out with, I'm just going to take my blanket and I'm actually going to make just a roll with it. So I'm going to fold it in half long ways, and then I'm just going to roll it up. So I got a blanket roll right there, and I'm going to put it horizontally across my mat. From here, I'm going to lie back across the roll so that it's hitting right at the bottom of the shoulder blade area. So if my roll is too low, what's going to happen is it's going to pop my ribs up really high. But this feels like it's about right. I'll show you what it looks like if I go too low, what that looks like in the rib cage. So you can see that this pops right up and is really arched. And I don't quite want that much. So I'm going to come up a little bit. I'm going to take goalposts with my arms and just hold open here. You're going to heel toe your feet wide on the mat to the outside edges, and then just let your knees fall into center here. So the upper back, the thoracic area of the spine, upper rib cage, shoulder blades. I'm feeling some sensation in my right shoulder because I have a bunk right shoulder. So just take a few breaths here, a few moments rather, just feeling how just lying back over a blanket roll changes any sensations in your body. So energetically speaking, the lower thoracic region all the way up, it really connects with 3 of our energetic centers or our chakras. And that would be the solar plexus chakra, the seat of our will, the heart chakra, seat of emotions, as well as our ability to give and receive love, and the throat chakra, our ability to express ourselves in any manner. So if you detect that you have an imbalance in any of those energies, maybe you would like to develop an intention for your practice tonight while we're lying here and just feeling. And maybe that intention centers around that particular energetic um, powerhouse. Whenever you develop an intention or an affirmation, you always want to word it in a positive manner. In so, for example, instead of saying to yourself, I don't want to be angry anymore. The universe doesn't work in negative. So instead of saying what you don't want, reword it to state it as to what you do want happening in your life. So the opposite of anger might be, I don't know, patience. I think impatience can cause a lot of anger. So I receive patience into my life. I have patience with blank. And you also want to state it in the present tense as if it's already occurred. I receive, I am, I release. If it's something you want to let go of, you could state your intention, I release anger from my life. Whatever your intention might be, just state it to yourself 3 times in the affirmative. And then from here, we'll release our arms down, heel toe our way back into center, and then just draw your knees into your chest, still over your blanket roll. It's going to feel very different than if you were flat on the mat drawing your knees into your chest. I definitely feel this treatment more in my thoracic spine when I draw my knees in my chest. And then you can tuck your chin and help yourself up to seated on your mat and remove your blanket roll. We are going to come down onto our backs for a couple more poses, but you don't need your blanket roll here. So we're going to do 2 variations of what I've always heard called clamshell. So you're going to take a side lying position, bring that bottom arm straight out from your shoulder. I'm going to bring my legs into bent position at 90 degrees. So my shins are roughly 90 degrees from my thighs. I'm going to stack my top arm hand on top of my bottom. Just let my head come down and rest. And on the inhale, I'm going to draw my top arm up and open, attempting to allow my shoulder blade to come all the way back down to my mat. It may or may not happen. And then exhale, I'm going to close it back off. Inhale, opening up and over, almost like you're drawing a rainbow with your hand. Exhale, close it off. Inhaling and exhaling and inhaling and exhaling and inhaling and exhaling. We'll do 2 more of these in this manner. Inhaling, drawing your rainbow. Exhaling, really trying to reach the fingertips away from the body. All right, so staying in this position, a little bit different movement. This time we're going to draw an arch overhead. So it's going to come up behind your head and sweep around and open. And then we'll exhale and draw more of a halo back, around, and down to close it off. Inhale, opening up and around. Exhale, drawing your arch back to your hand. 3 more. Inhaling, up and around. Exhaling, back to start. Inhaling, up and around and open. Exhale, back to start. Last one. Inhale, up, around, and open. Exhale, back to start. And now we'll do both of those on the other side. You can just flip over, but to keep me positioned toward the camera, I'm actually going to flip over on my mat this way so that I'm still facing you. Okay, so once again, I just come to this side lying position. Sorry for all the scratching. I'm getting eaten up by some bugs out here. I haven't learned my lesson about putting on bug repellent before I come out into the pasture to do yoga. All right, so bottom arm straight out from the shoulder, and I'm going to start by stacking. Just let my head rest. This one's the rainbow. So I'm going to inhale, rainbow, up and open. I just got to pop. Oh, yummy. Exhale, close it off. Inhale, draw your rainbow up and open. Remember trying to settle that shoulder blade all the way down if you can. Exhale, closing off. Inhale, up and open. Exhale, close it off. 2 more of those. Inhaling and exhaling. And inhaling and exhaling. All right, now we're going to draw the arc overhead. So inhale, draw your arc up, around, and open. Exhale, drawing it back in the opposite direction. Again, inhaling, up and around and open. Exhale, closing it off. Inhaling, up, around, and open. Exhale, close her off. 2 more. I'm already feeling my upper back release. Inhale, up, around, and open. Exhale, back to start. Last one. Inhaling. And exhaling. And you can press yourself up to seated from there. Coming back to our seated position here, and we're just going to cat-cow breathe. So bringing your hands to your knees, you'll inhale and send your heart through and up as you squeeze your shoulder blades together, lifting the chin, opening through the front body. Exhale, you're going to tuck your chin, tuck your pelvis under, and press the back side of your heart behind you. Inhale, front of the heart moves forward and up. Exhale, back of the heart presses back behind you. 3 more. Inhaling and exhaling. And inhaling and exhaling. 1 more. Inhaling and exhaling. And then inhale up to center. Go ahead and cross your legs the opposite way. So just put the other foot in front for me. You may be crossing your legs completely in the opposite way. All right, from here, you're going to reach open with your left arm, bringing the fingertips to the mat. You'll inhale out and up with the right. Try not to squeeze up through your shoulder. Keep the shoulder low, but the arm extending. And then you'll exhale and bend into your left elbow. And I want you to keep your right sits bone grounded. It's going to want to come up and go with you, but really stay long through the right side body. And you can push into your bottom hand to help keep that sits bone grounded. Breathing here. Two more breaths. Try not to flex through the upper back here, but keep the heart opening. One more breath. And we'll inhale back up to the top. Exhale, releasing the right fingertips to the mat. Same thing with the left side. Inhaling up with the left arm. Once again, don't squeeze, keep it low, but the arm is extending and reaching. Exhale, bend through the elbow, sliding out maybe, keeping the heart open, and pressing into the bottom hand to keep the left sits bone grounded. Breathe here. And inhaling up, exhale, release. Take an inhale out and up with the right arm. Exhale, come over. This time you're going to reach your left hand across and try to take hold around your right thigh, just above your knee. And you're going to reach and you're going to fold forward over the left leg. This is a little different stretch here. I'm feeling it much more in the back side of my rib cage. And you can add even more here by bending the right elbow and drawing back and open and maybe casting your gaze upward. Ooh, I'm feeling it in the shoulder now. Two more breaths. Don't clench your teeth. Don't hold it between your teeth. Keep everything not involved with the posture soft. With our Hatha Yoga practice, we try to find the balance between effort and ease. And then we'll inhale up, exhale, releasing down. Whoo, roll that out a little bit. All right, same thing to the opposite side. So we'll inhale out and up with the left arm to start with, and then we'll reach across with the right, taking hold around the outside of the left thigh, and then I'm going to fold forward over that right knee. Have a couple breaths here before I deepen. I can stay here, and if this is feeling good to you, stay right here. If you want a little bit of a twist, bend at the elbow and spiral the heart open and try to open with the elbow, breathing there. One more breath. And then I'll inhale up, exhale, release. Whew, that one was a doozy. All right, coming to goalpost arms. So elbows are in line with the shoulders. And I've got active hands. You don't have to hold your palms open to the front. You can hold them in. It really doesn't matter, whichever one feels more natural. You take a deep inhale, tall through the crown of the head, lifting from the base of the skull. Exhale, twist from your torso. Don't let the hips go with. And hold there. This is big time in my left shoulder right now. I'm sorry, my right shoulder. Well, it's really my left, but for the sake of mirroring, y'all, it's on this side. So I don't know my left from my right anymore because I mirror my students. Deep inhale, tall. Exhale, go ahead and sweep all the way across to the left. I just noticed I was pulling my knee up, trying to compensate, try to keep loosey-goosey everywhere else. Couple more breaths here. Deep inhale. Exhale back to center and relax down. Ah, that does not look like you're doing much. Holy cow. It's not easy. All right, bring your legs forward into, well, Baddha Konasana, if you know the Sanskrit terms that we use in yoga, but most people know it as bound angle. So the soles of the feet come together. Now, you're going to have a very different sensation with this posture if the feet are drawn in close to the groin than if they are far away from you. In my own personal body, my experience, when the feet are closer in toward my groin, I feel it more on the inner thighs. When the feet are further away, I feel it more in the outer hips. So, you know, kind of choose whatever your body's asking for tonight, or maybe you find a happy medium, kind of a loose diamond shape. And from here, we'll bring our hands to our knees and give just a very gentle press down so that we can rise through our spine. From that, I'm not trying to force them to the ground. I'm just giving just a little pressure there. Trying to sit up tall out of my low back. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips. So I don't want you flexing through the spine. Just hinge forward at the hips and see if you can bring your hands forward on your mat, or in my case, on the grass. And then I'm going to lift from the base of the skull just to keep the neck in line with the spine. I'll show you this from the side. So instead of being here, bringing a crook in the back of the neck so that I can look forward, I'm here. And I'm trying to draw the shoulders back and press my heart forward. And it can help to press down into your hands and make an isometric drag back towards your body motion to help pull the heart forward. Try not to squeeze your shoulders up and wear your shoulders as earrings. That is not becoming. Three more breaths. And inhale, sliding your way all the way back up to seated. If you need to help your knees up to center, by all means, take hold and help them up. And from there, you can take a kneeling position if you'd like, Vajrasana, so sitting on my heels. Or if you want to just sit in cross-leg position, that's fine too. Grab one of your yoga blocks, and we're just going to do some shoulder stretch and opening with our yoga block. So we'll start with the yoga block between our hands, and I want you to extend your arms. Show you this from the side. Extend your arms fully and squeeze in on that yoga block. That alone is work. All right, we'll inhale and hold the yoga block overhead. Try not to squeeze up through your shoulders again. Leave them low. And I'm just pressing in with my hands. I take an inhale, and then I exhale and bend at the elbows, attempting to keep that equal pressure in on my yoga block. Inhale up. Exhale, bend. Inhale up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, extend through the elbows. Exhale, flex through the elbows. Again, inhale and exhale. 3 more. Inhale and exhale. Woo, it's getting tough with me pressing in. Keep pressing. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Inhale and exhale. Woo! Inhale up, exhale, release down. Okay, so now you are going to hold your yoga block between the lateral, the karate chop side of your hands. So that's how I'm holding my yoga block, and my palms are up. So I'm going to show you this one from the side as well. My elbows are just to my sides. By the way, if you're sitting on your heels, you should be trying to draw your inner ankles in toward each other. You're getting a lower body work here if you're kneeling. All right, so karate chop side of my hand is what's holding the block. And I'm going to squeeze in on that, sitting up nice and tall, lifting from the base of the skull. And here, I'm just going to sweep my elbows forward and up so that the elbows come shoulder height. And exhale back. Inhale. And exhale. Don't forget to squeeze in on the block with the karate chop side of your hand. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. 3 more. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale, last one. And exhale. All right, you can put your block off to the side and come on to hands and knees. Okay, so I like to position hands slightly forward and slightly wider, so not directly under the shoulders. This is just my own preference. I find it gives a little less pressure in the wrist. So just slightly forward, slightly wider than the shoulders. And we're going to do what is called first knuckle push-ups. But don't let that scare you because it's not a real push-up. All right. So instead of collapsing in my shoulders and in my belly, I want to press down through my palms. You'll see that lifts me away from my mat. And then I draw my navel and low ribs up toward my spine, and that is where I want everything to stay. So first knuckle push-ups. All you're going to do is lift through the palms of the hand, but the fingertips are going to stay, or the fingers from that first knuckle all the way to the tips of the fingers stay on the mat. So it's just a lifting and a lowering of the palm. All right, so we've got 10 of these. We're going to lift and lower. Lift, lower. We'll go a little quicker than the breath. Lift, lower. Lift, lower. Lift, lower. 5 more. Lift, check your navel, check your low ribs. 3 more. Lift, lower. Lift, lower. Last one, lower. And then I want you to rotate your fingertips laterally, so toward the outside edges of your body, so that now your fingertips are pointing away from each other, and just shift side to side here. Just a little bit of shift. And then come back to center, and I want you to continue by turning your fingertips all the way back to point toward your legs if you can. And from this position, we're going to cat-cow breathe again. So I'm still lifted. I'm not collapsed. I'm lifted. You're going to inhale, reach your heart forward and up and try to draw your shoulder blades together into your spine, and anterior tilt the pelvis, crown of the head reaches toward the tailbone. Exhale, everything is opposite. I tuck under with my pelvis, tuck my chin, and protract my shoulders. So I split my shoulder blades. Inhale, squeeze my shoulder blades together. Exhale, split them. Continue. Two more. And then inhale back to neutral. Carefully unwind your hands. You can sit back on your heels real quick and shake that out. Ah, that's where you feel everything you just did when you do the shake out. And don't be like, yeah, that's a fish shake right there. We want a good, vigorous flicking it away from you so that you can hear it. I want to hear it. Let me check our time. We are good. Awesome. Okay, so you're going to help yourself down onto your belly. So from here, you'll tuck under with your pelvis and try to lower yourself all the way down. All right, and we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So feet are a little wider than hips distance apart. Tops of the feet are on the mat. And I'm going to come up onto my forearms so that my elbows are beneath my shoulders here. Now, you can do an assessment real quick of your low back. And coming into this position may be too much for your low back. And if that's the case, if your low back's going, then just bring your forearms forward a little bit, and that'll lessen the arch in the low back. But if you're good, elbows under shoulders, and you want to tuck under with your pelvis so that you feel your navel lift to support your low back. And you could even, if you're having trouble supporting the low back properly, you could even grab your blanket, and I would bring it to just a double fold here, like that. You can bring that just under the tops of your hips, and it can help to support your back that way. But if you're fine without the blanket, certainly this is oftentimes done without support under the hips, as long as you've got the grounding of the pelvis, the tucking forward toward the front of your mat to engage your belly and support your low back. And that's where it needs to stay. So now we need to set the star of the show here with this pose, and that is the heart. So I'm gonna press down through my forearms, and you'll see that it'll lift me a little bit, just a little bit. And then I'm gonna try my best to isometrically, so it's not actually gonna move, but I'm gonna try to drag my forearms back toward my hips, and you can see that automatically starts pressing my heart forward. And then I want to try to squeeze my shoulder blades in toward my spine. This is Sphinx pose. And I'm just going to keep my neck in line with my spine. I'm not going to try to crook my neck to look up. I just want it to be releasing while I'm really trying to reach the heart forward. Remember, keep a lift in the navel to support the low back. And we're breathing. And I'm pressing down through the forearms and isometrically dragging my forearms back toward my hip. And we're going to give a little bit of pizzazz to this by doing not a full navel gaze, but just a few baby navel gazes So I don't want your hips to actually leave the mat. All you're going to do is tuck under nice and hard and try to lift your navel and look at it. And then inhale back to Sphinx. Exhale, tuck and look. Inhale, Sphinx. We have 3 more of those. Exhale, tuck and look. Inhale, Sphinx. Exhale, tuck and look. Inhale, Sphinx. Last one. Exhale, tuck and look. Inhale, Sphinx. And then you can exhale, stack one hand on top of the other. Just bring your forehead down to your hands here for a moment. You can bend at your knees, keeping your pelvis grounded. Try to windshield wiper your shins from side to side without letting your pelvis lift up like that. So you want to stay grounded and windshield wiper the knees, or I'm sorry, the shins from side to side. You may notice that one side is different from the other. I definitely carry more tension in my right hip than my left. But that's me. You may be perfectly balanced, and that's fabulous. A couple more side to side. All right, and then you can release that. Turn your toes under. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Press up. I want you to come wide-kneed. Toes turned under. And then just press your hips all the way back to your heels, forehead to the mat. So arms are active. I'm reaching. I'm not just down to the mat. I'm reaching actively and I'm pressing my shoulders down away from my ears. Really pressing my shoulder blades onto my back. That is activating serratus anterior. Couple more breaths here. Keeping the same length of the arms. Fingers are spread nice and wide. See if you can lift your knees off your mat and press back to down dog without coming onto hands and knees position. If you need to take hands and knees, though, by all means, go for it. Okay, so in downward facing dog, this capital A position, I am actively trying to engage the tops of my feet toward my shins. I'm not collapsing. I'm drawing my navel and low ribs up toward my spine. I'm pushing the front of my mat away and flaring open. I'm trying to broaden across my upper back here. And we're breathing. Look forward toward your hands, and you're going to try to tiptoe your way up to a half forward fold position. Now, it may not be possible for you to have your fingertips on the mat, and that's okay. You can come to your shins, or you can even press back on your thighs. So what I don't want is for you to go too low and cause rounding in the upper back. We want our shoulder blades on our back. And I'm trying to reach my heart forward and the crown of my head forward. Navel and low ribs are lifted. I'm breathing into the backs of my legs right now because I am feeling this in the hamstrings. We'll take an inhale here. Exhale, bend into your knees, slide down your legs into a yummy forward fold. I want your chest in contact with your thighs. What this does is it takes the hamstrings out of the equation and gives nice release across the low back. So just let your head hang like a boulder so that you're tractioning the neck there. And now we're going to move between those two postures. So we'll inhale, come to half forward fold. Remember, shoulders on the back, not hunched. Navel and low ribs lifted. Exhale, soften the knees, bend and hang. Inhale, half forward fold as if you're looking over the edge of a cliff. And I'm actively pressing the thigh bones back here. Exhale, soften and fold. 3 more of those. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, dangling forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Weight is in the balls of the feet with half forward fold. If I bring the weight into my heels, watch what happens. My hips come behind my ankles. Weight is forward into the balls of the feet for half forward fold. Exhale, fold. That's where you can release the weight fully across your whole foot. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, fold. And then you can crawl your hands forward and your legs back into your down dog. See if there's any difference in your down dog. From here, I want you to come to a pigeon-toed down dog. So this is just to give some stretch to the outer legs. And remember, you're trying to push the front of your mat away. Engaging the tops of the feet toward the shins. Taking a deep inhale. Exhale. I want you to cross walk. So leg over leg, all the way back up to your dangling forward fold. I think some of my sequence got cut off. Oh well. All right, drop your hips and help yourself up to standing. So full Tadasana. Now, how in the world is my head getting cut off now? It wasn't getting cut off a minute ago. I don't think it was. Or have we not come? Oh, we haven't come to full standing yet. Let me adjust the camera then, so that my head's not cut off the whole time. There we go. Almost didn't make it. All right, I'm going to show you this from the side. From here, we're going to find Tadasana. So sending energy down through the 4 corners of the feet, inner and outer balls, inner and outer heels. I'm going to lift my kneecaps and engage my quadriceps back up toward my hips. I'm sending my tailbone down toward my heels, not tucking under, sending it down toward my heels. And that gives a natural drawing in and up of the belly. You can add to that by consciously engaging in and up. And from here, we're going to squeeze up with our shoulders. I'm doing both of them. We're going to squeeze up with the shoulders. We'll put both hands into our back pockets. And then I'm going to tuck down. And you can feel the shoulder blades stick to the back when you do that. That's that serratus anterior activating to stick the shoulder blades to the back. And then I'm going to open my hands out to the sides. We take Tadasana like this sometimes. And we're going to go through 9 more of that motion. So release, squeeze up, come to the back pockets, tuck down, and open. Up, pockets, down, that's 3. Up, pockets, tuck down, 4. Up, pockets, tuck, 5, up, pockets, tuck, 6, up, pockets, tuck, stick in the shoulder blades, 7, up, pockets, tuck, 8, up, pockets, tuck, 9, up, pockets, tuck, 10, hold. Lift from the base of the skull through the crown of the head. Find your Tadasana, find a Dristi, one point to focus your gaze on, and breathe. Keeping those shoulder blades glued onto your back. Take a deep inhale and exhale, relaxing out of that. Just shaking that out a little bit. Very good. Okay, we're going to move down to some on the mat work again, but you'll want to make sure that you have both of your blocks accessible toward the top of your mat. Okay, so I'm just kind of flanking my feet with my blocks so that I will be able to grab them when I need to. We'll take an inhale out to the sides and all the way up. Exhale. You're going to hinge at your hips, drawing your navel and low ribs back as you go long through your spine, folding all the way down, taking a bend in the knees if you need to. Find your blocks with your hands. I want you to inhale and reach back with a strong right leg. So no floppy fish back there. Strong leg, long body. And then exhale, bend into your standing leg and touch down with the back toes. And then let your back knee come down to the mat. All right, so I'm gonna walk my blocks back a little bit. Actually, I don't even really need my blocks for this particular one. Let me turn to the other side though, so that you can see what's going on here. Blocks up there. All right, so I'm here. Now, one thing that we tend to do in our low lunge here is to take a hard anterior tilt of the pelvis, so dumping our pelvic bowl forward and then just collapsing into it. And that is not strengthening, and it can put your low back in a compromised position. Almost fell there. That would have been rich to see, me falling out of a pose this low to the ground. All right, so what I want for you to do is take a posterior tilt of the pelvis. So trying to spill your pelvic bowl out of your low back. You'll feel it fire up, start stretching that hip flexor on the back leg without losing the tuck. Then I want you to sink your hips forward there. All right, very good. And then we're going to sweep across with the right elbow and bring it to plant on the left thigh. You can either make fist or you can bring your hands into prayer here. Now, just holding here, it does a little bit for the upper back, but you can really fire up what's going on in the upper back by pressing into your hands and really trying to torque the heart open to the, oh, I just got a pop. Oh, yummy. You can torque the heart open and cast your gaze up over the top shoulder. If you're not looking into the sun like I am, I'm like, I can't see. So maybe sinking the hips a little deeper, breathing here. Try not to squeeze the top shoulder, keep it low. Three more breaths. From here, I'm going to try to balance and inhale back to center. This is where I want my blocks. I'm going to shift my hips back so that my hips are over my back knee. Keep my front leg long, and I'm actually going to come to a flexed front foot here. I'm going to take a deep inhale, nice and tall through my spine. Draw my navel back, draw my low ribs in, and then I'm going to exhale, hinge at the hips. Don't flex through the spine. It really doesn't matter how low you go to this leg. What matters is that you're getting that sensation all the way up the back side of the leg. So even though I could flex and get a lot lower toward my spine, I'm doing myself much more good, keeping long through my back, drawing my shoulders back, reaching my heart forward. That's the focus of our class, and kind of offering my heart up to that leg. And this is about my limit before my hamstrings go, nah, not going any further. Now I want to wrap my back thigh in toward my navel. I want you to watch this hip that's closest to the camera. Right now, it is not in a correct position. But when I wrap the back thigh in toward my navel, you can see it brought the hip from here, which is out from under me, not supporting me, to wrap. It brings it back, and it fires up the back of that front leg. We breathe here. And I'm just keeping my neck in line with my spine by lifting from the base of my skull. One more breath here. Stay in this position, except now you're going to step your back leg block across, so my right block stepped across, and I'm going to walk my blocks over to the left, and it changes what's going on in that front leg. So try not to come here. I want to reach my heart forward and breathe. And I'm still wrapping the back thigh in toward the navel. Try not to clench your teeth. Keep it all loosey-goosey there in the jaw. Focus on the breath. One more breath here. And now I'll inhale and walk back into center. I'm going to put my blocks back at the top of my mat, turn my back toe under, and I'm going to try to press off that toe and lift, and then step back to my downward facing dog. Woo! Again, I'll remind you, don't collapse in your dog. Lift the navel and the low ribs. Reach all the way through the arms, broaden across the upper back. I'll show you what broadening across the upper back looks like from a front view. So this is what I'll see in my students when I'm walking around the studio in class. So if you can let them wing in, I'll see this a lot. And what you want is an external rotation of the upper arm bones to spread the shoulder blades open across the back. Hopefully that is helpful for you to see. Okay. From here, we're going to take an inhale, tuck our tailbone, come up onto our toes, and wave forward through our spine into a plank position. We'll touch our knees down and touch knees, chest, and chin, and then flatten out on the mat. That posture, the knees, chest, and chin, it looks like an earthworm. It's called Ashta Namaskar. 8 pointed. I know Ashta is 8. 8 pointed something, but can't remember what Namaskar means. All right, Surya Namaskar, sun salutation. Maybe it's 8-point salutation. I don't know. Who knows? Who cares? All right, from here, We're going to do some upper back work. So again, you're going to tuck forward with your pelvis to the top of your mat so that you feel your navel lift and it protects your low back. Bring your forehead onto your mat. You're going to clasp your hands behind your head, and on an inhale, you're just going to lift and you're going to try to pull your elbows toward each other and squeeze your shoulder blades in towards your spine. And we breathe. Two more breaths. Not easy. And release down. Woo. We check our time because we got the other side to go. Oh, we are golden. Golden, golden, golden on time. All right. From here, you're going to, again, bring your hands under your shoulders, turn your toes under, and press your hips back to your heels so that's that active child's pose here. Knees are wide so that the spine can be neutral. You never want to go from a back extension, aka back bend, which is what we were just in, to a spinal flexion pose. That's asking to get hurt. So we're coming here to neutralize the spine. And we're going to try to do that pressing up to down dog again. Here we go. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, try to press down through your hands and pop your knees up, and then lengthen back to your down dog. Broaden across your upper back. And we'll cross walk our way all the way up to our bent knee dangling forward fold position. We'll inhale halfway up, shoulders on the back. Exhale back down to dangling. And then we'll inhale and reach the arms out to the sides and all the way up. Urdhva Astasana. Exhale, hands at the heart, Samastitihi. Okay, I'm going to change sides because we're going to do all of that again on the other side. Okay, so we'll start in Tadasana. I got bitten on my face. I keep scratching my face and my arm. Libby will learn one day. Put on some catnip essential oil, lemongrass, citronella. Got some citronella essential oil. Something. Okay, finding your Tadasana. Remember, we're engaging the quadriceps up so that they're strong. Tailbone reaches down toward the heels, navel draws in and up, low ribs in, heart lifts, plant the shoulders on the back. And we'll inhale out to the sides and up. Exhale, scoop your belly as you hinge forward, going as long as you can, all the way down to find your blocks. This time, you're going to inhale and reach back through a strong left leg. It's strong. It's not fishy. It's strong. And then on the exhale, you're going to reach back and bend into your standing knee. And then you'll touch down with the back left knee. Toes can be under or top of the foot down. I always go for top of the foot down for some reason. Okay, so we don't really need our blocks for this one. You're going to come back. You can let your hips come back a little bit so we can set it up for success. All right, so again, you want to tuck And you'll feel it fire up that hip flexor and the quadricep even, maybe. And keep the tuck, but sink the hips. Draw back on the low belly so it's strong. We'll sweep across with the left elbow to come onto the right thigh and either fists meet or hands come in prayer, and we press to torque our heart open to the side. Don't squeeze the top shoulder up, keep it low, and we breathe. I got a pop on the other side with this one. Maybe you can get a pop out of this one. Thank y'all for caring, by the way. One more breath here. Strong belly brings us all the way back to center. We find our blocks, shift our hips back over. Oh, it's tearing me up back here. Goodness. All right, shift our hips back over our back knee, lengthen through the front leg, dorsiflex the foot. Dorsiflexion is so that the top of the foot is moving toward the shin there. Coming nice and tall through the spine. Draw your shoulders onto your back. Lift from the base of your skull, through the crown of your head. Wrap your back thigh in towards your navel. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. Hinge forward at the hips without flexing through the spine. Keep wrapping the back thigh in towards your navel. Remember that draws that front hip back, and it should bring more sensation up the back of the front leg. And we're not here, we're here. Lengthen. One more breath here before we walk out to the side. So this time you're going to hop your left block over your leg and walk all the way out to the right. Try not to shift your weight over. Try to keep your pelvis in line, squared to the front of your mat. One more breath here. And we'll come back to center. Release our front leg back. You can place your blocks off to the side, and you're going to tuck and lower yourself down onto your belly again. Okay, so a little bit different this time. Instead of clasping behind your head, I want you to reach your arms forward so that your palms are open to the midline of your body. All you're going to do with this first one, by the way, set your pelvis. So scoop it forward toward the front of your mat so that you can feel that lift come in into your navel area. All we're going to do here is stretch the right leg back and the left arm forward. So we're trying to stretch our body as much as we can diagonally through the tips of the left hand fingers and through the right toes. That's an active back foot there, not hanging out. It's reaching, 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 and release down. Same thing other side. Inhale, reach through the left foot and through the right fingertips. And exhale, release down. Now we're going to go side to side, side to side. So we're not holding for a duration, but we're moving through it. So inhale, right leg, left arm, reaches. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Exhale, down. Switch and release. Reach and release. One more each side. Reach and release. and reach and release. Hands come under the shoulders. Turn your toes under. Open your knees wide and press back to that active, almost a toe squat child's pose. Arms are extending and still reaching. I can feel it in my upper back. I'm pressing down through my palms. And I'm going to give that crazy way of coming into down dog one more try here. So take an inhale, exhale, press down through my palms, lift my knees, and settle back to my downward facing dog. Navel and low ribs draw up toward the spine so that I'm not collapsing. I'm broadening across my upper back. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, tuck under with your pelvis, coming onto the toes and lowering your knees down to the mat. All right, one last, let me check. Yeah, we're good. One last active pose here on hands and knees. And then we'll come to seated, do a tiny release, and then it will be time to come into Shavasana for a few minutes. All right, so we're going to thread the needle, and we'll start with the right hand and right leg if you can find the balance for it. So what we're going to do is we're going to inhale out and up through the right arm, and we'll exhale and thread the arm through between the left hand and left knee, extending it palm up all the way down to the shoulder. And I'm going to keep my left hand under my left shoulder, and I'm pressing into it to try to twist my heart open. And then from there, if I have the balance, let me turn to the camera. All right, and I'm pressing to twist my heart open. If I have the balance here, I'm going to reach back through the left leg, straight back. And then I'm going to assess my balance again. And if I've got it, I'm going to lift and open the back hip. And I'm breathing. No holding breath. Let it go. Breathe. One more breath. Deep inhale. Exhale. Lower the toes back down. Bend the knee. And coming back to hands and knees to do it all again on the opposite side. So I'll turn the other way for you. All right, this time it's left arm that's going to thread beneath. So I'm going to inhale out and up. Exhale, thread it through, palm up, coming down onto that shoulder. Arm is extended. Right hand is still down on the mat, and I press into it to start twisting my heart up and open. Find my balance here. I'm still pressing into that right hand. I'm going to extend my right leg back. Find my balance. And then if I've got my balance here, I can lift and open that hip. Two more breaths. Deep inhale. Exhale, just touch the toes back down. with control, and then the knee, and then I press into my hand to draw the arm back out. Just come to a seated position. Scratch if you need to. I've probably gotten 20 bites during this class. Go in and take a calamine bath. It reminds me of that song Poison Ivy. You're gonna need an ocean of some calamine lotion. All right. No, I don't take my singing career very seriously. All right, coming to a cross-leg position. One last little bit for the upper back. You're going to take an inhale out and up overhead and turn your palms to face inward. So like this kind of thing, except clasp your hands, bend your elbows, and draw your wrists down to the top of your head. Don't squeeze up with your shoulders. Keep them low. From here, we're going to inhale and extend our arms without squeezing our shoulders up. And exhale, draw back down. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Squeezing the arms, not the shoulders. Exhale down. I shouldn't have said squeeze. Inhale, extend. Leave the shoulders low. Trying our best to come to straight arms. Exhale back. We've got 2 more of these on this side. Last one. Hold here. Twist to the right. Woo! Breathe. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, release. Open your palms to face away from your body. Back hand comes behind the hip. Front hand hooks onto the knee. Press into it to torque your heart open, and you can either cast your gaze into the side plank or over your back shoulder, whichever one feels best to you. Try not to let this front shoulder creep up. You want to keep it low. I just caught myself clenching my teeth, so try not to clench your teeth. I'm a teeth clencher, so I know how it is. Where I hold most of my tension is in my right jaw. Again, thank y'all for caring. Deep inhale. Exhale, releasing forward out of that. Same thing, but this time you gotta really have your awareness tuned into this, because you wanna cross your hands the opposite way than you did last time. When we did it just then, you did it the right way, the way that felt right. So do it the wrong way this time. All right, we're gonna inhale out and up, and I'm going to clasp the opposite way. My brain almost doesn't even want to do that. And bring it down, pulling the shoulders down. Here we go. 5 lifts and lowers. Inhale, extend. Again, try not to squeeze up through the shoulders. Exhale back to your head. Inhale, extend. Exhale back down. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. This is the last one, so we'll hold. Inhale, extend and hold. Twist left. Couple breaths here. It's challenging. Deep inhale. Exhale, open your palms away from you. Hook onto that thigh. Come behind your body. And then press into it to twist your heart open, giving you a shoulder stretch as well. Try not to let the shoulder creep up on you. Last breath here. And inhale, unwinding. And exhale, coming onto our backs for Shavasana. So you're going to help yourself onto your back. Extend your legs away from you, allowing the feet to come about mat's distance apart. And just let the feet flop open to the side. Arms are going to extend out, palms up, out to the sides of the body. I like to draw my shoulder blades up under me to open my heart, brings the natural curve into the low back. And then I try to equalize my weight between my hips and my shoulders. Make sure the back of the neck is long. Close your eyes. And just give the weight of your body over to gravity. Letting everything go. All effort melts into a state of ease. Letting go, I whisper, it's okay to release. Letting go, my body says back to me, thank you. Letting go, I find a silence and a stillness so sweet. Letting go, I feel my body welcome in peace. This feeling of centeredness, groundedness, and ease becomes available anytime I'm willing to let go and welcome release. As the sound of the bell enters into your awareness, let it bring with it an awareness of your surroundings, beginning to deepen your breath and turn your senses outward once again. Slowly begin to bring movements back into your body, starting with fingertips and toes, hands and feet, wrists and ankles, arms and legs. Full body, making movements that feel good to you. And when you're ready, make your way over onto your right side, using your arm or blanket as a pillow. Remaining there for just a couple of breaths, allowing all weight off the heart. And then you can gently help yourself up to a comfortable seated position. We'll end where we began. I invoke favor, peace, and prosperity upon each of us this day. May we experience full restoration, nothing missing, nothing broken. That which has been taken from us, physical and not, may it be returned to us sevenfold. And that which was once broken in our lives, bodies, minds, or spirits, may it be mended like new. May all beings be happy, healthy, and free, and may we practice with patience and know much peace. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. I hope your upper back feels fabulous. And if you enjoyed this, please make sure to like and subscribe. And I hope to see you back here in the hills soon. Namaste.